Microphone was muted. All right. Hey, thanks everybody so much for joining me today. Hope your day is going pretty good. Got Mr. Alex on the line here. We're going to break down some technical analysis and talk about whatever we think is interesting. So stay tuned, man. Alex, how are you doing, brother?
Doing well. Hello out there to everyone in TV land.
Out there in TV land. All right, cool, man. Well, how's your weekend going so far, man?
No complaints. It's been pretty uneventful. Just been doing some marketing stuff, trading stuff, work stuff. As a matter of fact, I don't think you know what? I did go to a Dia de los Muertos festival yesterday, so
Yeah.
good for that.
Nice, dude. Nice. I like it, man. I like it.
Los Angeles is a cultural hub.
It has been a relaxing weekend for me. You know what's interesting is I thought it was going to be an extremely relaxing weekend, and then these altcoins have just continued to pump and pump and pump. So really, I'm sitting really good on the week, but really, there's so much validity to have just been in front of your computer all weekend long, like watching your volume scanners, because things have just been popping off left and right. I made a post about that. Something I think people need to realize is that there's only so many tools that you can use as an analyst when you're looking at altcoins in particular, especially like Binance. And if it's difficult on Binance, you can imagine how more difficult it exponentially gets as you go lower down into things like Crypto Bridge or Cryptopia or Yobit or some crap like that. And that's the fact that probably the most effective tool you can have to catch these movements is a volume scanner. And I know that that's something that me and Ben are actually working on right now, because we've had several in the past, and I have one that I use right now, but we're actually working on making a web app to have that volume scanner available to people. We're going to start off with BitMEX just on XBT USD pairs so people can catch volume, and we're going to aggregate the data from CoinFarm Online. But our next project after that is going to be making one that actually is directly linked to Binance, so hopefully we can scan for abnormal volume either down or up so you can be looking to sell or buy, because so many of these pumps are fairly abnormal. You can only see so much for a good setup. Sometimes what looks like a bad setup will pump randomly because these are irrational people acting in the market. So you have to understand there's a fine line between spotting a good setup and being able to trade that and being validated and right, because you can spot a good setup as a trader, and then also being aware of the market participants in the market that you're in. And crypto is the Wild West, man, so you really got to have your ear to the ground to catch some of those movements that kind of come out of nowhere. You feel the
Oh,
same?
like you talking about? Yeah, I do feel the same way. If obviously price action is important. We talk about it all the time, and we post like, here's what this indicator says about this thing, or the ADX is a blah blah blah. But there's really only so many data points. Price is one of the data points, and volume is the other data point. And if you're not looking at volume, you're missing like half of the equation about what's going on with price.
Yeah. Yep. I think you're right. I'm looking to see. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that yeah, Alex, you're 100% right. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that the chat was getting updated there. So, yeah, if anybody's got any questions for me or Alex, probably Alex, he's smarter than me. Just feel free to pop them in the chat and let us know. So anyways, yeah, so I think I'm excited to get that product out there, to get that volume scanner out there. So, if there's if anybody watches this as a developer, I've talked to a couple of the developers in our Discord, and I know that we're all working on kind of different things, but if anybody is kind of interested in that, because I know what's necessary. So if you're interested in developing or working with us, just send me a DM on the Discord. I'd be happy to work with you on that.
Yeah, come on, just slide into our DMs, guys.
Just slide into our DMs, man, just like that girl on Twitter. So anyways, man, what do you think about Bitcoin price right now, man? Or lack thereof.
I have not checked it since this morning. I mean, I've been looking at the historical Bitcoin volatility charts this week. We hit a new all-time low in volatility. So that has been, well, at least vaguely interesting. Volatility, when volatility is low, there's going to be a big movement, but you don't really know which direction it's headed in. or you also don't know when it's going to happen. But I mean, volatility is just crazy low right now. I will say, looking at the 6 hour, we just printed a bullish divergence, so that's interesting.
On the Fisher transform.
Of course.
Of course. All right.
Yeah, it's my favorite oscillator. You know, it gets the job done. It's got nice and sharp peaks and troughs. What can you ask for?
So yeah, let's see here. Can you I guess we'll get to it when we get to the charts.
Yeah.
I guess with that, I mean with that, there's not a whole lot to talk about, man. I mean, I covered in my video earlier this week as we were talking about before the stream. I think, the relevant news out right now is people are still just talking about the ETF, and people are still talking about BACT, and people are still thinking they're going to switch from BitMEX to Deribit, which they'd be stupid to do because the liquidity on Deribit is pathetic. Uh,
Oh,
you
it's
know,
last week we told people, and maybe when we do. So you've done a little looking, and that's your decision now.
yeah. And I looked at it a little bit, and I ran. I mean, you can just see objectively that their liquidity is much lower. I don't know if I can pull up a solid number here because I don't have it off the top of my head. I'll try and I'll see if I can't old Google it here, but let's see here. But I mean, I knew that from what I saw that the liquidity just was much lower than BitMEX, and there's you just can. If you think that you're going to have problems getting your orders filled on BitMEX, which some people already do, I mean, just multiply that by 10, and that's what you're going to have on Deribit. And I kind of took a poll, a troll box too, just talking to people, and that seems to be what everybody kind of feels. Most people kind of feel the same way about Deribit at this moment. That yeah, it's cool and everything, but and it's nice that it's legal. But yeah, the liquidity is not there for anybody to do a mass exodus. And I think one of the things that people are saying in favor of Deribit is that you don't get overload. But again, we haven't seen them system shocked yet. So what were to happen if there was a mass exodus of everybody that does use BitMEX that wanted to go over to Deribit? Would their server be able to handle it? We don't know. So yeah, that USDC, which you said you wanted to talk a little bit about, but I kind of want to do a little bit more research on that. I don't, I'm familiar with it, and it's on Coinbase Pro now, but just off the top of my head, I don't know as much as I'd like to know about it to speak on it to a degree of effectiveness. And then obviously BACT futures launching. The ETF, it's like every day I get a random email or a random DM that the ETF has been, confirmed. It was 1:00 in the morning, and I was sitting there in the chat, and somebody was like, "Hey, ETF's been confirmed." And so now it's kind of like my inside joke. I have the link to,
Really, the SEC did it in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, yeah. 1:00 in the morning, they ruled on it. Yeah. So I've just been DMing people saying that the ETF future is confirmed, and here's the video proof. And then I just linked them to a Rickroll. So that's
nice. Yeah, that sounds like you need a little bit more to do with your time.
So. All right, so let me do something real quick. Let's move over to here. And one thing that I'd like to do, let me see if I can pull it up. This is gonna be silly. Shoot. Bear with me. Come on. Let's just do this then. Okay, cool. I can do it like this. If I can frickin' find it. No, my drive. Sorry, guys. This is... Aha! Here we go. Sorry about that. I just wanted to pull up our tracking sheet, but I didn't have it quick link because I have the other browser open. So I just wanted to go over our week 4 so far and give some shout outs to Alex, man, because Alex has seen some good stuff, man. We collaborated on the first Monaco call. You brought that to my attention. Walton Chain, you brought to my attention. Zilliqa you brought to my attention, Syndicator you brought to my attention, and then we sat down and figured out targets and how to play it together. But yeah, dude, we had some great trades, dude. You know?
Yeah, I think the hardest part was figuring out which trades to stay out of because I mean, obviously, all season's upon us. In one sense or another, alts are doing something interesting. Whether it's maybe they appear to be retracing their downtrend, and then maybe they continue onwards. Other ones, flat out reversing in a very obvious fashion.
Yeah.
But um, but the hard part is like, okay, something like looks good, but it might not be ready for another couple weeks, and you don't want to call it now, and then people just kind of sit in the trade forever. Um, yeah,
Yeah, you got a good point. Hold on, let me try to. Man, that chat looks like crap, but I'll try to put it maybe here in the middle so that it'll work. Hopefully that'll work. If we get too many people talking, which we normally don't have to worry about, I'll have to resize it. But yeah, yeah, I think Scott said something quite along that line too when he said that, hey, almost all these altcoin prices look good, but maybe or all these alt price actions look good, but maybe just not at the price when you look at them that second. Like you can always
yeah.
wait. You know.
In a bear market, you can almost always buy it cheaper.
Right. And well, and there's another point on that too, which is just timing the market. That's the goal of a good trader, is just figuring out when to time the market. And the reality of the situation is that so many people FOMO into things because they don't have the patience to just sit and wait and jump on the good ones, like the perfect ones. And you find yourself, maybe you've made a mistake when you did see that great setup and you handled it wrong. So because you got stopped out, or you maybe missed it, or you undershot it, or whatever, you made a mistake, you just didn't execute properly. Now you feel like you have to overtrade. I mean, that's the common problem that I see with most people that I talk to who are trading crypto, is that they overtrade and they end up wiping out their losses because they get into things that are more appropriate for a midterm call or a longer term hold. And that's not where I'm at right now. I think that might be just me, but when we're in the bull market, there will be plenty of time to buy stuff and hold it. But right now, I'm just trading, dude. I'm trading on a shorter time frame, 2 to 3 days, a week, and I've made, I mean, what, we're now at 107%. We're over 100% this week. So that means we've only had 1 week where we didn't hit 100% this week of October. And so clearly what we're doing is working out quite well. And I've just seen so many people that want to start accumulating alts at this point. I'm not saying they're wrong, and I'm not saying that strategy isn't wrong, but it's just not my approach to the markets, and it's not my approach to altcoins. I'm gonna have to see all those moving averages start moving up and not sideways and not range bound.
It's definitely it's definitely a legitimate time to be buying for long term holds, but that's more of an investment strategy than a trading strategy. With
Right.
trading strategy, you have defined exits, you have stop losses and stuff. If you're doing like a longer term investment, I mean your stop loss is going to be very wide.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the approach that you would want to take, especially if you're in the middle of a bear market. Now imagine if you bought your long-term holds like, oh, I don't know, during the during the April alt season or during the August alt season,
Yeah.
all of which seemed like, hey, ideal time to buy, and then boom, a month later you're 50% underwater.
Yep. Yeah. Horrible. I mean, I've just maybe I'm biased. I mean, I've played these markets before. I've seen them go up. I've seen them come down, and so so many people that I know and have a lot of love for, held onto their alts that they bought in January and have just refused to sell them or sold them at a really bad discount, and that's just not me, man. It's not my strategy. What I do works really well for me, and that's my emphasis on what I want to teach people to do. I am, don't get me wrong. Back when we were ripping and roaring, I saw all kinds of. I identified what I thought were the core alts with huge potential to grow, and we traded that way. And then I also actively spent my time identifying ICOs and identifying, lower, really low cap coins, like sub $1 million market cap coins that I think could really blow up. And, you can look for those opportunities there, but the market is entirely different right now. The ICO space is not the same as it was before. The sub $1 million market cap space is not the same as it was before. And I'm waiting to see what arises from this, this morass of, this miasma of bullshit, that we know is plaguing the space. So that might just be me. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but I'm making 100% a week. I know this month might not last forever. This might not. Next month I might be 10%, 20% down, but that's not the point. The point is consistent average profits over a long period of time, and I'm able to do this now full time. So hell yeah. So just looking at our open calls here, here's what we're still in. Metal, we're up 4.72%. BNB, we're down.
Here's a great example of something that's taking forever to play out.
Yeah, but it's still. But we've both looked at it like multiple times a day. It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I think. BNB, you made a comment about that, and if you want, I'll throw it over to you here in a little bit and let you look at what you want to look at.
Yeah, sure.
We're down like not even 0.25% on it from our entry position. Neo, we've been accumulating that for a couple days, and we're starting to move a little bit, but I'm patient on that one. ICX, waiting to move, really down about 1%. Qdom, waiting for that one to move too, and Waves, we're waiting for that one to move as well. So we closed out a lot of our stuff for like QKC and Doge were quick calls. Hypercash and Syndicator finally pumped after we bought into them. So yeah, things are looking decent, man. So if you don't mind, I'll just take a look at Bitcoin real quick, and I'll talk about what I see. And then if you want to look at Bitcoin real quick, talk about what you see. And then, hey, what's up, King Y666? I like that name, man. Devilish. All right, bro. All right. So I'll just look at Bitcoin and talk about what I see. And let me look at the daily chart, actually. I've been talking about this, in my TradingView posts and in my posts on the Discord, and what do you want from me? It's just flat. It looks like Miley Cyrus up on stage with whatever the hell his name is. And it's just not exciting. Now, what I will say here is that looking at sentiment on Bitfinex, which is my BFXLS overlay right here, so I can look at what sentiment is, and we see that as we were ending this range trading period, it's kind of pathetic how we've just eased out of the descending triangle, eased out of the pattern that we were trading in, and we've had a range of decreasing from $95, and you were the last one to look at volatility data. Like, what's the actual range? Do you know what the range is of volatility right now? Like maybe $17. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, and the even on a lot of the higher time ranges, we're super squeezed on the Bollinger Band. Just any measure of volatility. You can just look at it. Like, price is flat. Price is flat.
Yeah.
I think in the past 3 days we have had a total of let's see, that's around 64.50. This is at we have $70 in total movement in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's if you caught the wicks.
Yeah, man. Well, today volatility is at the lowest ever. Like, we're at the extreme lowest of Bitcoin volatility that's ever been experienced.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It goes with the hard hat you looked at for 1 month. I'm not sure. Not sure what you mean by that, brother. Let's see here. But I will say this, looking at sentiment analysis, we see that, and then, again, this is Bitfinex data, and I've been talking about this for a while, and I still haven't noodled it out in my head exactly how to interpolate this. But I have been for months, for almost a year now, trading off Bitfinex sentiment, and it's been an extremely potent indicator. Like, I look at sentiment analysis over technical analysis because sentiment analysis tells me what active market participants are doing, whereas technical analysis is open to interpretation. And so is sentiment analysis, but sentiment analysis will give you a beat on what people are doing in the markets, and anybody can disrupt good technical analysis with dumping a whole lot or buying a whole lot. What technical analysis will allow you to see is what is the probabilities that certain events will happen, and then you can take a trade that is set up statistically in your favor. So that's the benefit of knowing these different skill sets. And we see that open interest is rising. We see a significant increase in longs over the last week, and shorts are just flattening out. And it can be argued that Bitcoin has been in an uptrend. Really, we've been range bound, but you could say that we've been in an uptrend, I guess, a little bit since September, that we've been moving up, and then we just recently had this massive dump back down to test support. Is this the stop loss hunt? I don't really think so. I think that if we were to see a true proper stop loss hunt, the orange hard hat you'd always look at every day when you're at work. Oh, right on. Nice. That must be somebody that I know personally. Right on. Well, hey man, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you supporting me, dude. Let's see here. What was I saying?
We're talking about how it looks like it's in an uptrend, but it's pretty much just trend.
And so, is this what the stop loss? Is this going to be the stop loss hunt? I don't think so. I think that we're going to see more full market capitulation. I think that you really want to see I think that to really buy in and go long hardcore on Bitcoin, I would want to see absolute complete capitulation, and I'd want to see news broadcasts about how Bitcoin's absolutely dead, and not just mainstream news. I'm talking about, I want the Discord servers. I want to see Discord servers shutting down. I want to see people talking about how they're getting out of crypto because Bitcoin's going to zero, and they just made a video like 2 months ago about how Bitcoin's going to $250,000. I want to see Mike Novogratz on stage burning his underwear. I want to see John McAfee eating his own dick. That's what I want to see. And if you start seeing,
that's something we all want to see.
Yeah. And if you see those events happening, that's when you absolutely necessarily need to go get a mortgage on your house and buy Bitcoin, because that's when you can be pretty goddamn sure it's going up. Now, preface, because some people are take things literally. I don't want anybody to go take any loans out and buy anything that you can't afford. But I'm just making a point that that's when you want to bet big on an asset going up, is when you're at the bottom of a downtrend and you see shorts or selling just spike massively, and everybody's selling and everybody's scared. I mean, just the age-old adage, man, when everybody's crying, you should be buying. When everybody's yelling, you should be selling. I mean, it's so hard to train yourself to buy on big red candles and to sell on big green candles. But you can just see right here, like, look at this massive, huge, scary red candle, and you can see that right down here was the best time to buy. But just assuming, like, if you just played chart replay and you didn't know better, and you were, it's because I got VPVR, you can't see it very well, but if you were right here, like, you don't know, you probably think price is going to go lower, but the reality of the situation is you have a huge stop loss hunt on low momentum, you have this long tail, massive selling pressure that pushes price down below support. You can be pretty guaranteed the price is going to do this immediately. It's a good way of looking at the markets, and a good way to think about price, I think, and it's helped me become the most successful in trading. And again, you see this huge big green candle, a lot of buying pressure right here. This is a huge green volume bar, a lot of buyers coming into the market. They think that the uptrend is going to continue, and you can see that right up here was the best time to sell. But at one point in time, when you would have been looking at this wouldn't have been a wick. This would have been a full bull candle, if you were actively watching the market at that time. And it's so hard. I know it is, because I've gone through this metamorphosis myself. It's so hard to train yourself to start selling on these huge big green candles, man. But you just got to, dude. It's the only way to buy at the bottom and sell at the top. So if you want to buy low and sell high and make money doing this, that's what you got to do. So I would say that I'm a little biased toward this chart looks more bullish to me than it looks bearish in the short term, because price is completely flat and we see a significant pickup in longs. So that means that both retail traders and institutional traders are betting on Bitcoin going up in the short term. But really anything can happen, and I'm kind of waiting for a dramatic, some dramatic, huge, big spike. And that's Bitfinex sentiment. We can go take a quick look at BitMEX sentiment, and then I'll kick it over to Alex and shut the fuck up and let him talk about something for a while. Excuse me. So yeah, on BitMEX, we've got, you know, shorts and longs just about equal. So not a whole lot of bias on BitMEX yet with open positions, anyways. But about 20 million open positions on shorts. So, and in the last, let's see here, in the last 2 hours, we've seen some significant spikes, but again, just no follow through on movement. Yeah, see, here was the biggest one, the big spike in longs. But yeah, still nothing to see me supremely biased toward one way or the other. But the chart looks a little bullish to me. So that's all I'll say. All right, Alex, I'll kick it over to you, brother, and you can look at whatever you want to talk about, or and when you run out of ideas, I got a few things that I can look at, a few examples that I wanted to talk about, but I will hand the reins over to you for a while if you want.
Okay, yes. So, what I want to do is I want to look at just Bitcoin on multiple time frames. So I mentioned the 6-hour chart earlier, and oh, okay, that's all right. Now I can do a screen share. There we go. Anyway, all right. So let's just begin. So right now, what I'm looking at is the 1 hour on Bitcoin. We started to dip, and then boom, we wicked down, jumped back up, and then we wicked up. As you can see, like, the volatility is just so low here. This is like a $20 range. So what I see here right now is we don't even have an uptrend established really on lower time frames. We don't have a downtrend established per se, as you can see from the wicking. But let's head on over to the 3-hour, and it appears like we may be seeing the very beginnings of an uptrend. What we do see here is I made this line over on the 6-hour, which is the bullish divergence that you see forming here. But what we really want to see is a close. So as you know, bullish divergence is just basically when the bottoms of the indicator diverge from the bottoms of price. Helps us see, divergences and, the strength of price or the weakness of the indicator versus weakness of price, strength of the indicator, as it were. But moving up over to the 12 hours, we see the Fisher actually starting to break down below the zero line. It kind of looks like it's, like we sort of bounced down, and then price was rejected from 6,000. And then we just sort of have bounced like this. And you can even see it do that on the indicator. So the 12-hour not looking that good. The day about is like even the Fisher is flat on that. That should tell you something. Even the Fisher is flat on the day.
Yeah.
Just the average distribution of price is just very good. What I'm keeping my eye on is it looks like it might be about to top right below zero. So if anything, I have a little bit of a bearish bias right now, but we may just be returning to do the stop loss hunt that Justin was talking about just a little bit ago. Like that little $20 wick we saw a little bit ago, not a stop loss hunt. That'd be back down to the 6,150, 6,000 range. So that's mainly what I'm looking at on Bitcoin right now. And then just for fun, let's take a look at the 3-day. 3-day also looks like it's just now in the process of forming a top. Did this close yet? No. I don't know how many days we are from closing right now, but that's also something I want to keep a look at. I'd say a couple days ago, things looked more bullish than they look right now, but it's still impossible really to determine what direction it's going to go in. Your thoughts on that, Justin?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is that, yeah, it's as a chartist that I respect, like, I completely see what you're saying. And as I try to respect my own charting, I look at the chart and I'm like, oh, I could see bullish, I could see bearish. And it's funny is if you're like I do, and you can kind of see what a lot of these people that run signals groups and other trading groups, you know, if you can kind of get in and see where they're at, there is no agreement like anywhere along the board. It's so funny because I'm scanning, you know, like for example, like, you know, premium signals channels, you know, and I see people saying, hey, enter a short order on Bitcoin, and then I see other people saying, hey, enter a long order on Bitcoin, and they're all like good traders, and I'm just like, you know what, I think the best thing to do is to be in USD right now. That's the best thing to be right now, dude.
Yeah. Well, I am going to go on the record as a chartist and say I think we're going down from here. How far we go down, I'm not sure, but in 3 days' time, I think we'll be looking at a price under 3,400, not over 3,400.
Right on, right on. You said 3 days?
6,400, not 3,400.
Okay, I was gonna say, hey,
3 or 4 days. Yeah.
hey, you just got our YouTube channel banned, dude. We just got demonetized.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh man. Hey,
Sorry,
no.
you want me to pull up BNB next? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
that'd be great. I just want to say that I absolutely do agree with you in the short run. I mean, with all this, with price coming down here to the low and people thinking that the bottom is in for the most part, I mean, we do absolutely. I mean, I don't like to use absolutes like we absolutely will see this will 100% for sure happen, because that's what idiots say. But I completely agree with you that the highest likely statistical thing to happen is that we see capitulation or a stop loss hunt at the very least, and price push significantly down. Oh, there it goes. No, that's BNB. My bad.
Yeah. But like I said, now that I have BNB here, look at that and tell me that you aren't a little concerned about this BNB call.
Let me go ahead and explain what you got, and while you're doing that, I'll pull it up for myself and see what I see.
All right, the primary things I'm looking at here are, you know, the reason we got into this trade is this looks like a solid bottomed out formation. Now, what we don't see is capitulation candles, which had us a little concerned, but it's been very tightly consolidating around the point of control, which you see is the red line right here. And, you know, I felt comfortable calling it all through, gosh, we can zoom out more, and you can see, like, this is a very strong point of control. Like, price just really loves this spot. But over time, we started to, we broke out of, zoom out more. We broke out of this descending triangle formation in a not really spectacular fashion. We were rejected from resistance, and we settled back down. And I was kind of under the assumption that we would just settle back down, retest the point of control, and then, you know, however long it took, just make our way back up to these eventual targets. But price is, well, let's just say it's becoming a little flaccid over here. It's definitely not holding up like we want it to. It's fallen below the point of control. And what looks like it's happening is it is retesting the point of control before it inevitably drops from here. We have a bearish divergence on the 3 hour too, similar to the bearish divergence that we saw on the 1 hour. So the tops are a little different here. This is the top on the 3 hour. So set a 6 hour. Also a bearish divergence. Let's see, that top is actually in the same spot. But let's see, what do we have on the 12 hour?
Let me give a quick shout out to the chat here. We got, and we'll get. I think I'll get to your question here in just a second, bro. Casey Lingenberger. Sorry, I mean 6450. He says, "Do you guys think ETH has capitulated? BTC." Oh, hold on. I'm gonna have to pull up the chat to actually see it because I can't see it over this overlay. Do you guys think ETH has capitulated? BTC is not. Divergence of those coins causing an awkward market. Well, let me just say that I don't think that Ethereum is affecting the market very much at all. Well, of course it is, but not to the degree that Bitcoin is. I don't think that we've seen capitulation on either coins. No, absolutely not. And you'll know when we see capitulation because one morning you're going to come to your computer and you're going to open up CCN and it's going to say Bitcoin drops $1,000 in 6 hours, or it's going to say Ethereum drops to $125 over the course of a day. BitMEX putting shutters over the doors. That's what you're going to see. And that's when you're going to know capitulation has come in. So no, I don't think we've seen capitulation on either. And I think the awkward market is being caused by the reason the market's awkward right now is because you have, for the most part, institutional investors on the sidelines. And so you have an entirely retail run market right now. That's why altcoins are pumping entirely randomly, by pump and dump groups or by trading groups or by individuals who are not institutional investors but have large money. Keep this in mind, guys. Whale and smart money are not synonymous. So that's my thoughts on that.
F might have capitulated. I've sort of been calling F to head down to the $94 point of control. I feel like that might be a reasonable final, not final resting place, but for F to finally find its bottom. I mean, especially because just a couple of years ago, F was like $10, and there's still a 10x from the $10 point. It's just not at. It's still just like a 90% decrease from 1,200. Um, I am reminded. I moderate over at CoinSheet, and I was doing some reading in F Trader during the week where it fell to $160, and uh, there were people who were contemplating suicide. I posted a suicide hotline number over in the CoinSheet thing. It was this F traders were having a bad week, suffice it to say, and that felt a little bit like capitulation to me that week. And we haven't seen those prices since then. Um, Now, I will be the first to admit that I am not as experienced in the market as many other people are. I learned quickly that, but experience is hard to replace. I have not seen a whole bunch of capitulations, but that felt to me like a capitulation. Having to post those suicide hotline numbers.
Yeah,
That's my only opinion on the matter. Has Bitcoin capitulated? I haven't felt a capitulation, but
yeah, I feel you, man. I remember that. I remember specifically you talking about that. That's when we were just starting to form a friendship. And yeah, I remember that time, dude. It was real shit, dude. And that's what I mean by the market kind of being moved currently by that right there is retail traders reacting emotionally, negatively to the movements of smart money. And it's a shame to see. And that's kind of why I'm so adamant about why I trade the way I trade. It's not that I have the golden method. There is no such thing, but I've learned to be successful after lots of failure, and I think Alex has learned to be successful after much failure, or is getting there slowly.
yeah, lots of failure.
And you don't. I want people to avoid that. I don't want people to be in that situation or position where they are contemplating suicide because they didn't know how to manage their investments.
Yeah, I can agree with that. We definitely don't want anybody committing suicide. Write that down, folks. That's our official opinion.
Right on, right on. He said, reason I ask is purely Ethereum volume around the 160 point, but I appreciate your answers. Yeah, I mean, Alex.
$160 point, yeah.
Yeah, Alex would be the first one to tell you that he has gotten me to rely heavily on volume profile and horizontal analysis of volume, and price likes to go to where the volume is, man. So that is a valid way to look at it. So, well,
I think Casey means that on that day around the $160 point there was a large capitulation candle.
Oh, okay. I'll look at it here,
Like,
and
yeah.
I'll look at it here in just a little bit. One thing I think that I
You
saw.
want to finish up with BNB?
Yeah, I just had it pulled up here. So actually, I agree with you. So this is just what I see on BNB, and I got the daily pulled up, and I'll do this quickly, and I'll zoom in just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we can see a strong bottom here at about 00143, give or take. You know, you can wiggle a little bit. Clearly, obviously, we had a wick down here below, and then price shot up, and then kind of went sideways. Um, but yeah, you can just see the volatility contract, 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 contract. I mean, it looks quite similar to Bitcoin, honestly, just with lower peaks and more shallow valleys. But yeah, if we zoom in, we can see though on this larger time frame that if we're looking for what I consider like a really good perfect setup, like we're about 3% away from that. And then once we reach that 3%, uh, generally at this point, if we're going to see price shoot up, then what we're going to see is large capitulation down below support fairly rapidly, fairly quickly, with a long tail on high volume, and then you're going to see price shoot up. So it is entirely possible that the optimum time to enter the market was not where we entered several days ago, and potentially down here. But I think that looking at this, our margin of error is so low. As far as crypto goes, like I said, we're looking at maybe 3 to 4% from current close, from current price down to where support actually is. And then if we do see that strong, violent movement, yeah, we would have significant drawdown at that time, maybe in the anywhere from like the 5 to 15% range, just spitballing, seeing how volatile cryptos are. But that's when we would see the movement upward. And we do see here that, just where I've got the Fisher set, the Fisher seems to be approaching oversold conditions. And I know that we kind of go back and forth on this, but looking at TD sequential on the daily chart, where I do think it's quite a valid indicator.
Absolutely, yeah.
On the weekly and on the daily time frame, the TD sequential is quite good. We are steadily approaching a perfected 9 count to the downside. If we continue this slow drain down, we're going to see a perfected 9 count. And the last time we saw a perfected 9 count was right here. Or excuse me, we had a perfected 8 count, and then a 9 candle was the perfect entry right here. So that's when price turned around. And then price turned around on an 8 candle to the upside. And we have not completed a count since then. We've just been slowly drifting downwards. And technically
I'll be the first to admit, when I first joined crypto, I was not that familiar with TD sequential or TD trends, and I thought the whole counting candles thing was kind of a big joke. But I've been continually impressed by how well it seems to call stuff. Like enter here, okay, and then it ends up being very good. Yeah, TD sequential is just such a great entry confirmation, or even just like a signal all on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, if you know how to apply it properly, it's a pretty powerful tool that you can have in your arsenal. So I actually don't really think I need to zoom into the lower time frames. You guys can see how extremely tight the margins are on BNB right now. So that is a low volatility entrance that smart money would look to enter. Smart money does not look to enter on high volatility. Smart money looks to make their moves on low volatility. So that's what I'm seeing. So really, I just my 2 cents. I have some BNB, and I'm going to stay in the trade because I think that my margin of error is quite low.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if it's going to just dip or if it's going to fall out of this trading range. But you're right. The stop loss is so close to where we are. I guess it doesn't make sense to dump the trade and take the loss.
Yeah, and high risk, high reward, man. If we see, we'll
You're breaking
see.
up, Justin.
Oh, sorry. High risk, high reward, because we'll be able to see quite quickly if we do see a movement out here. Like if it stays like pathetic and then price starts moving up like real slowly on low momentum, then it'd be like, okay, we'll take a little bit of profit and we'll get out of the trade. But if we do see that violent move down, we'll be able to tell almost immediately if the buyers step in and it shoots price up and we get that long tail. If we don't and it's just a solid like bearish engulfing candle, we got to get out, man, because that means price is going to go down lower. So we kind of got to wait for the close. Yeah. So we'll be able to tell in that day. I think would be quite telling. So.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Less I look at this BNB call, less happy I am with it.
Yeah, I mean we all want to see, you know,
Well, they can't all be winners. Yeah,
we all want to
hold
see
on.
we all want to see something like this sky call right here, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, where you only have to go in like 3 or 4 times to finally get the win.
you only had to enter like a couple times. I just, you know, it's kind of crazy to see that you have. I mean, really, if you're looking at this chart and we do replay mode like right here. Boom. All right. If we're at this moment in time, I mean, oh, I'm gonna move my. Oh shoot, that's TD sequential. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna move my VPVR over to the. You got it pinned to the. No, that's not right. How did you move your VPVR over to the left?
You go into options,
Yeah.
and then you want to choose scale left instead of scale right. It's in, all the inputs and stuff.
Didn't do it right. Oh wait, maybe I clicked the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Placement left. Okay, boom. So, looking at Sky here, and this is something that I called, and it was kind of a nail biter, and I know that some people got stopped out, some people didn't. Like, I got stopped out initially because when you see something like this is the setup that I look to take. You're in a downtrend, you see massive selling volume and a huge wick, and I'm buying as soon as I see this just huge, inordinate, disproportionate candle at the bottom of a downtrend. I mean, we're at support, and then you see this sell-off. That is retail traders panicking and exiting their positions, and that is the best place to enter. So when you market buy exclusively, why? Because when price is moving down on high volatility, on high momentum, and you market buy, all the sellers are pushing your buy price down, so you're chasing liquidity in the right direction. And that is going to give you the opportunity to have your market buy. Let's say you market buy and you're seeing this just boom, 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 and you click that market buy button right here. It is highly possible that that market buy isn't going to get fulfilled till here, and that's going to make you a very happy trader if this trade goes in your favor. Conversely, when you're looking to sell on a big green candle, and everybody knows this, when you go to market buy on a breakout candle, your buy is going to get pushed up much higher than you really wanted to get pushed in because you're chasing liquidity the wrong way. You're chasing the buy wall up. You want to chase in the opposite direction, and that's why you want to look to market sell when you're seeing a big, huge green candle shooting up, because all that buy pressure is shooting your market order up. You're chasing liquidity in the right direction there to catch the maximum margins as possible, as within your power on your trades. But anyways, if we just start playing here a little bit, let's see here. I saw this and I was like, all right, cool. Price is going to shoot up a little bit. And then price just kind of moved sideways a little bit. And I was like, all right, we're going to consolidate. And then I saw price shoot back down and hit a lot of people's stops. But what I saw was that, yeah, we saw the same thing, huge, massive red selling volume. So apparently all the buyers who bought in here hadn't sold yet. They're panicking again. And look, we weren't able to go below support. I'm like, this just still looks great. Let's keep going. Come on, come on, come on. And then what happened? I was not expecting this. This faked me out. I'm not going to lie. Because we see the exact same thing, even more sell volume, same wick, way down below support, and I'm just like, oh man, this sucks. But you just gotta hold, with your thesis, and then what do we see? Bam! Then we see price just shoot up. It's a natural reaction because all the sellers were exhausted. Shakeout, stop loss hunt, shakeout, getting all the dumb money out of the market, and you were able to catch that movement. But yeah, you had to be quick on it, man. So yeah, I get it. Not one of my best calls, but I do like that I get validated. As far as my theory goes.
Right?
Yeah, talking Skycoin.
I would consider calling Skycoin again right now.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom of its trading range. It doesn't look that bad right now.
It does not look that bad. I do see some upside potential, but I feel like if I called Skycoin again right now, I think that I would probably literally get hate mail in my inbox.
Yeah, and you know what the worst part is? It would be a 40% drop if it fell underneath this trading range to the next level of support.
Yeah. Let me see. You know what? There's got to be a better way.
A super tight stop here.
There's got to be a better way that I can scale this chat and hide messages automatically after like 60 seconds. Let me try this. Sorry, guys. I'm just seeing the... I just realized that during that entire analysis that the chat was just all up over the... Alright, so hopefully maybe that's better. No, that's way too tiny. God, I suck at this.
I believe in you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. At least somebody does.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Got this.
Okay, that looks a little better. Yeah, I kind of like that a little better. Let's try that. All right, moving on. I'll take a look at Ethereum. I'm kind of interested to see specifically what I see here. So he's talking about the capitulation at 160 as relevant to what I was talking about. And let me look at this, because my instinct is to say, nah, man. See, typically it's going to look like this, you know, and we get this beautiful, Morningstar candle, this hammer candle on this really massive volume. And then we see the same thing here. We see, again, this is almost the same thing as we're looking at in Skycoin. We see price get shook down, and then price just moves sideways. And maybe you're right. So let me preface it like this. So what we're seeing here could be absolutely exactly what I'm talking about. Capitulation and a stop loss hunt. A potential stop loss hunt right here, capitulation right here, and a stop loss hunt right here. Even though this volume was lower than this, but that's to be expected because most of the sellers should have exited right here on fear. But the fact that price has just gone sideways after that has let me know... Oh man, that's tiny. I can't even read that text. Nah, man. Hey,
any discussion re XRP?
Nope. Hey, I'm about to look at XRP next. So thanks for joining the stream, man. I appreciate it. Hey, just so I can quote Ivan on Tech here, guys, make sure to smash that like button. We really appreciate it. Trying to spread the news. But yeah, I'm gonna look at XRP next. Thanks for joining the stream, man. So what I'm gonna say here with Ethereum is that what this looks like to me is the fact that smart money just didn't step into this move, because typically what you're going to see after the stop loss hunt is price start to move up fairly rapidly on high momentum, because that's the striking point for institutional money. That's the striking point for smart money, for traders who are sitting on the sidelines who aren't retail traders, because they're going to buy at that optimum spot and all that. So either, because you can see the price does move up. You can see the price does move up, right? Immediately after those stop loss hunts, but not significantly, and there's no follow through. So that tells me that invalidates the idea that this is a market moving capitulation, because either it was market moving capitulation and there was no follow through from institutional traders, or retail traders didn't hop in on the institutional traders' movements like they normally do, either because they're exhausted or demoralized. So the fact that there's no follow through in this market tells me that either A, like I said, just to restate it again, institutional money did not buy up this dip, and if they did buy up this dip, they bought it on extremely low volume, meaning they contributed extremely low amounts of capital to their trades, and they took their small profits and they left. And they did let retail traders get in here, and they squashed them right here, probably right here in this very next candle. And the same thing here. We have all this buying volume right here, and then they get quashed right here. That's probably institutional money taking their short-term profits. So yeah, either institutional money is completely sitting on the sidelines and not buying Ethereum even after these two perfect opportunities to buy, meaning that the supply is not all the way out of the market, or retail traders are just, in the same sense, exhausted on the sidelines and just unwilling to buy Ethereum as well. So until I see some follow through, man, like I don't think that the Ethereum bear market's over, man, because it just seems like there's still so much fear and supply left out there in the market. Yeah. Much more pain to inflict, man. Like what? If we really zoom out?
Hey, Justin, breaking up hard again.
You know, sorry.
Still bad.
Yeah, you're hearing me through the headset, so if that breaks up, it's breaking up just for you. Just specially for you, man.
Okay, then.
Let's see here, man. Yeah, dude. Like, what did you say? 52. The next huge volume node of resistance is what? Yeah, the next one is 94, and below that, like what? 45, 50.
Yep, 94. That's where I think it's gonna land.
A lot of pain, man. A lot of pain, dude. So yeah, I think there's still quite a lot of pain left.
94 is like another 60% drop.
I could see it, man. I can definitely see it. The Fisher, well, Fisher's moving above the zero line, and we haven't had a bottom or a top above or below the zero line. It's just been consolidating right along that. So kind of wait to see what the sine wave does, man. I'd like to see that too.
Why don't we take a look at ETH Bitcoin? Maybe that'll give us a better idea of where ETH is heading next rather than ETH USD.
Yeah, for sure.
This has a slightly better consolidation or capitulation bottom. There's like a very sharp V on this one.
Let's see. Yeah, I see the difference here for sure. Especially here, I got my lower time frame indicators on, but if I put on my longer time frame indicators, let's see here. Let me zoom in here and look at the volume.
I am seeing bearish divergences on the 12-hour, on the 1 day, on the 6-hour. Looks like it could be trying to form an uptrend here, but it might just be like one last gasp as it tops.
You know, I'll be honest with you. This is what I'm thinking looking at Ethereum, man. I've highlighted some interesting areas on the map. But I don't
Actually,
go ahead.
open up Ethereum Bitcoin on the 3-hour on Bittrex.
I'll come back to you, Bitfinex. Oh yeah, there's a short-term play right here for real. Fisher's reaching oversold. Hold on, I definitely got to throw on my longer time frame.
You mean overbought?
Yeah, that's my like most common thing that I say wrong, dude.
I do it all the time too.
Yeah, I mean we could see an edge-to-edge trade here, but I mean what's the margin? You're talking less than 1%, brother.
Well, can you open up the Fisher?
Bottom above zero right there at that consolidation range.
Yeah, on the 3-hour, it seems to be forming a new uptrend. And then take a look at all the market buying that's going on in the last couple days.
I do see an impressive bid wall right here.
Mm-hmm.
All the way down to $160. But look, man, I gotta look at this daily chart and just give my honest opinion on it. Not on Bittrex though. So yeah, I think there's a potential there for a short-term trade on Bittrex for sure. But looking at the longer time frame, I think that
look at it on the 3 days, forming a massive bearish divergence or bullish divergence.
I just don't think all the supply is out of the market, man. I think these ICOs are still sitting on the sidelines with limit orders flooding the market, and that's why I don't see any follow through on these movements.
I don't know. Look at a longer term time frame. Look at the 3 day. We're right on a point of control right now. I think maybe we might at least retrace some of this downtrend a little before we continue down more. There is an awful lot of shorts on ETH Bitcoin right now and ETH USD.
Yeah, that's something I need to do. I need to look at my sentiment analysis.
Yeah, for ETH, which we haven't really done.
All right. Well, we saw a lot of open interest drop off at this point. Oh, okay. Let me look at the daily. Sorry, guys. Longs and shorts on Bitfinex are like pretty flat. ETH USD will be different. They're still really flat, man. I'm not seeing a lot of movement. I saw a lot of shorts open up here, but but then they dropped out, man. They got liquidated right here. That's retail traders right there. I actually see.
Sorry, go ahead.
I see falling open interest in Ethereum USD pairs, both in Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's just, it's just telling me that there's just not a lot of market participants, man. Like relative to what we need to see this market move.
A sign of capitulation is retail traders leaving the market.
Right. Well, no, because if they were exiting in mass, like that's what I want to see. I want to see retail traders leaving the market. I want to see like huge, massive capitulation with some follow through, which we've seen twice with just no follow through. I think that's probably overachingly. I think that's probably caused by just the massive, massive, massive supply of Ethereum that's still floating out around there. Because guarantee you that every day that goes by that the market stays bearish, like all these ICOs that have tons of Ethereum sitting around, like they're not necessarily smart money just because they were able to raise a lot of Ethereum, and they have the option of maybe for sure being a millionaire right now, and they can just put their dreams of being a billionaire aside. But not a lot of people are going to let being a millionaire slip through their fingers like that, man. I don't know. You got to take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I don't like Ethereum, and I make no qualms about this. So I'm trying not to let my bias slip into my analysis here. I'm just telling you what I see, man. All right. You want to look at Ripple with me?
Yeah, all right.
All right. My favorite altcoin, Ripple. It's going to make me rich, or it's going to make me poor. It's all good. All right.
I don't know, I think it looks a little bullish right now on the day.
Drop in shorts, rise in longs, and consolidation. Yeah, that actually does look pretty bullish. I'm not going to lie.
It's resting right at a point of control on support. The Fisher on the day is turned up. That's what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we bottomed right above the zero line too.
Indeed.
Letting us know that this uptrend's probably not out. And we don't see the massive capitulation that I'd like to see, but we did see retail traders get wrecked here. This huge capitulation right here, massive rise in shorts, and then they got liquidated right here, and shorts have dropped down, and now we're sideways with longs significantly rising up. Yeah, Ripple looks pretty bullish to me. I'm not going to do any targets or anything. Like, I don't like to do that, necessarily when I live stream, because I like to take quite a lot of time when I do my analysis and figure out where price is most likely going to go. But I've got the Fibonacci already drawn here. We're consolidating right at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement on VPVR with rising sentiment, with sentiment rising and longs, really rising up. Sentiment analysis looks bullish. Technical analysis looks, biased bullish because we don't see the volume in there. But, this is the low, we can see volume dropping, and this is the low volatility markets that institutional traders want to enter into. So, yeah, I think that I think Ripple is looking bullish to me, and that makes sense because I think that I'm not alone when I think that people are like, we don't really know what's going on with Bitcoin. We're not really sure. We don't really know what's going on with Bitcoin, but we think it's going up. We're not really sure with Ethereum, but we think it's going down. But we really, really, really all need Ripple to go up because all of us have so goddamn much of it. So let's make Ripple go up, like that's the third option. So the third wheel is just going to get all the attention and support and volume. And obviously all these movements will be confirmed because there's just no goddamn volume in the market, dude. I don't know if like institutional traders are like just vacationing at Jekyll Island and they're like, we're not able to buy into anything right now. Sorry, guys. But it does show me that at least from what I see, that retail traders at least think that price is going to go up, and we can see that indicated here by the increase in longs. So where would I be invalidated? Well, if I see these longs significantly drop off, and if we see this the 0.618 broken right here. So if we see 44 cents, 45 cents significantly broken down here, and we start trading down below 45 cents, next place I'd be looking to pick up is right here at about 36 cents. And where would I be looking to go toward next? I'd probably be looking at going toward 57 cents right here, which, man, if there's a bag that you wanted to fill up on right now, I mean, Ripple's probably not a bad bag. So, well, unless there's any questions from the chat, I don't have a whole lot more that I wanted to talk about. I kind of, if you guys go back earlier in the live stream, I talked about essentially Wyckoff theory, or, at least how I like to look at trading, exploiting retail traders, buying bottoms and selling tops, buying on red candles, selling on green candles. And I think that that's important. And that's one of the videos that I really want to make. In the order of videos that I really want to make, it's videos on TD sequential, Wyckoff theories of accumulation and distribution, exploiting retail traders, sentiment analysis. But, overwhelmingly the requests have been, hey, can you explain this indicator? Can you explain, can you give us some simple strategies? And so that's clearly what I know I need to do first. So I just put out that video on the stochastic and how you can use the stochastic along with other indicators to increase the efficiency of your trading. Common mistakes people use when interpreting the stochastic, and actually how to understand how the stochastic is measured and what it is measuring. So guys, go check that out. That's the latest video after this one on the Crack Crypto YouTube channel. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys, if you like this comment. And if you don't like the content, go ahead and let us know what you don't like so that I can make it better. Maybe get some better lighting in here. I don't know. Maybe shave my head again. I don't know.
There's no hope.
There's no hope. Oh, no.
Hey, Justin, can we take a look at something real quick?
I would love to.
Pop open Neblio.
NEBL?
NEBL, yeah.
Hello, baby.
It's in the middle of a multi-day breakout. Head down to the 15-minute and the half an hour. I think we might be in for an entry here.
Let me switch over to charts. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right, so we ranged right here, massive selling. Ooh, capitulation for entrance. We saw a little bit of follow through on buying price right here. Buying in the beginning of an uptrend is generally extremely bullish. So these massive candles, when we're not in a massively established uptrend, ugh. God damn it.
I see both whale candles and non-whale candles. Like,
Yeah.
The breakouts have follow through. But, we're seeing some coiling in the recent breakout, too, with these whale candles that were, like, instantly retraced.
The only, and again, I'm not a contrarian on purpose, but here, let me look at a larger time frame. The only thing that concerns me is the massive amount of buying volume in an established uptrend, because that's generally, and it seems like we've been in an established uptrend for since the 12th of September, really, and then we broke down, and then we've been in an uptrend since the 11th of October. Price has been moving up, and it's we don't see the massive buying volume here. We see the massive buying volume here, and we break down. We see it again. That's bullish volume right there, and that's bullish volume right there. The only thing that scares me is these massive wicks to the upside, because we did not see that on these other bullish candles. They mostly seem to be bullish engulfing candles. But these most recent candles right here look like hammer tops. And those scare me a little bit, because that is generally retail buying in what they think is a strong uptrend and providing liquidity to individuals that are looking to exit the market. And if that also can usually indicate buyer exhaustion. So I've become so hesitant on trading breakouts just because of understanding that, and it's so hard to tell, okay, is this a legitimate breakout which, again, if we were to get into it, we'd be getting into the breakout late. And
Well, I mean, it's a little late. It depends on how strong the uptrend is. I mean, this is only a couple of days old.
yeah.
I don't think we're super overextended above the trading range.
And well, and the other thing, I can understand why these massive wicks occurred, because you can see here on this candle that there wasn't significant selling volume to match the buying volume. I don't know if you can see you
Yeah.
can't see my screen, I don't think, but if you look at the previous peak, I mean, there's just huge, massive buying volume equal to this most recent candle, and all those traders got trapped there, and then price went against them, and then they were just looking to sell at break even. But actually,
These guys had a lot of chances to sell at break even. I mean, if you look at the 15-minute, then we see that there were several whale candles here.
well, but I'm just talking about specifically the top of this peak. You can see that it's got, I'm highlighting it, so I know that I'm like way behind you. So, oh, there's something that I can do here. Maybe I can show you. Yeah. There we go. Can you see my screen?
I have to turn on YouTube. Otherwise, I have your sound coming from.
No, in Google Hangouts.
Oh. Yes, I can see myself.
Can you now see my chart?
Yes.
Okay. So what concerns me about this is that I'm just trying to think horizontally about price. And so right here on this candle, it's just massive buying volume. So since price immediately moved against the traders, we can see here that the selling volume is not as significant right here.
Yeah.
So everybody that bought here did not sell out, and then price moved against them. And so they're scared and they're looking to sell at break even or a slight profit. And that's why we get
Well, then
this.
they just had that opportunity twice.
Right. They had their opportunity right here. So are they going to buy back into the uptrend?
Maybe if you look at the 15-minute, I mean, we're at the bottom of support. We are. Well, I mean, if you look at the day and switch to, I mean, can you see my screen?
If
Here, let me turn on.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right, 1 second.
I can see it live on the big screen.
So what we see here is, this area was the trading range that it was in. It broke out above here, and if we go back down to the 15-minute, we see that this is that line. So we're resting on support. I think people have had the chance to sell at break even if they wanted to over here. They've got this area here, they've got this big ass wick here. I mean, these were just whale candles, and you do see a lot of market selling that took place as it got forced down. But now here it is traveling up on very low volume, actually. I feel like the order books have sort of been cleared out through that area.
Right on.
Anyway, price has increased about 3% since we started talking.
uh,
Well, if it doesn't retrace back down to support, I'd say we just missed it.
well,
I wouldn't want to get into it now.
Well, yeah. There's a thing. There's a particular way, and maybe that's what I should. Maybe that's where maybe I'm getting pigeonholed just into the way that I've been liking to trade lately, which is just searching for the perfect setups. And there is a particular way to trade breakouts and to trade this particular market, and so yeah, so if people feel comfortable zooming into those lower time frames, yeah, as we just saw, like Alex, you were 100% right. There was profit to be had here. There's still profit to be had here. There's still trades to make, and I don't want to confuse things by saying that, well, maybe it's not the setup that I like to take, because at this point in time it's not. But that's not to say that there's not a potential way to trade that particular market, or that there's not profit to be had there.
Okay, well, anyway, that's all I wanted to point out, and I thought it'd be fun to just look at a setup while we were on live stream.
Yeah. Well, but do you see what I've done, Alex? I've covered our bases. So anybody watching this in the future can be like, oh, if price goes up, people will be like, oh, we should watch more of these live streams. Alex is a great chartist. And if price goes down, people are like, oh man, we should watch more of these live streams. Jay's always right. You know, you got to cover the bases,
Yeah,
man.
we should totally give opposing opinions on all markets from now on.
Yeah, building the brand, man. You know, hey,
100%, 100% correct every time.
Maybe we can even argue a little bit so that, kind of the witty rapport, brings people in and they like the back and forth.
Yes, on guard.
But all right, well, we are effectively streaming to ourselves, though we did get 4 likes and we had a maximum of, I think, 6 or 7 viewers at the peak. So I appreciate that. Thanks everybody who watched this. If you're watching this in the future, make sure to smash the like button, hit that subscribe if you guys want to get more live streams like this. Join us in the Discord at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Trading community for cryptocurrency education, news, and recommendations. We'd love to see you over there in the premium. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Alex, anything you want to say? Anything you want to plug?
Nope. Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you next weekend.
All right. Peace out, guys. Love.